Okay, good day to everyone. This is Mamakon, and I will be giving feedbacks and answers to your questions regarding lesson number 3, which is all about financial statement analysis. So let me start it by the question of teen. What methods does an entity use for the analysis of financial statements? So for purposes of academic discussions, we identified horizontal analysis. We also have our vertical analysis. We have our trend analysis or trend ratio, and we have our financial ratio. So these are among the analysis being done to our financial statements. Question of Kristen. What is garden variety 2-period horizontal analysis indicated in the trend analysis? So, medyo pinaganda lang ng konti at gumamit lamang ng terminology, but when we say garden variety, it simply means common. Okay, so ang tinutukoy lang din sa statement na what is garden variety 2-periodic or 2-period horizontal analysis is that when you make horizontal analysis, the common na way of doing horizontal analysis is the comparison of 2 periods. Okay, so common is you make, like for example, a comparison of 2019 and 2020. No? Question from Yara. What is easy to use? A vertical analysis or the horizontal analysis in analyzing financial statements? So, to answer that first, pag sinabi nating horizontal analysis, we are comparing 2 periods. Okay, so let us say that's 2018 and 2019. Pag sinabi nating vertical analysis, what we are analyzing is a single period. Let us say 2019. The idea of horizontal analysis is you compare 2018, let us say this is 100, and 2019 this is 200. So when you analyze this, there is an increase of 100. Okay? Considering that it's a 100% increase. Pero kapag sinabi nating vertical analysis, since you are talking about a single period, what you are analyzing is, for example, you have your cash, you have your accounts receivable, you have your inventory. And you have your cash of 100, receivable of 200, inventory of 300. So you have your 600 here. Okay, so when you will be asked, or when you want to know, magkano ba sa assets ko ang inventory? So you just compare this. So ibig sabihin, if 600 is 100%, so this is 50%. This is 50% of your assets is inventory. Okay? So, this is the idea of horizontal and the vertical analysis. So, if the question is, what is easy to use? Well, based on my opinion, obviously, mas madaling gamitin yung vertical analysis. Why? Because you simply need a single period financial statements. However, Yara, the question of what is easy to use might not be relevant. Depende kasi ang gagamitin mo sa kailangan mo. So kung gusto mo lang malaman ang anong percentage ng assets mo ang cash during this period, you can use vertical analysis. But if you want to know kung gaano ang itinaas ng income mo or kung gaano tinaas ng sales mo, even if vertical analysis is easy to use, you cannot get what you want in a vertical analysis. That's why the question the question whether to use or not an analysis doesn't depend on whether it is easy to use or not. It will depend on what do you want to know, because different analysis gives you different results, and different results will give you different basis for economic or for your decisions, for making your decisions. Okay? Question from Jessa. How is trend analysis differ from vertical and horizontal analysis? So I have mentioned already what is the idea of horizontal analysis and what is the idea of vertical analysis. Pag sinabi mo namang trend analysis, you are not just talking about 2 periods. So ang trend analysis, ginagamit yan to know to analyze the financial statements in the long run. So let us say meron ka ditong 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, ganyan. So for example, 2016 is your base year. So kung 2016, 100 siya, increase, naging 120, 110, 150. So kaya siya tinawag na base kasi ito yung magiging base year. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kung tumaas based on this trend analysis or trend analysis na ganito, so medyo nagpa-fluctuate ng konti. So from 100 naging 120, bumaba ng 110, tumaas ulit ng 150. Okay? So that is how a trend analysis differ from a vertical and horizontal analysis. Vertical analysis, single period. Horizontal analysis, 2 periods. Trend analysis, more than 2 periods. Question from Rovi. Ma'am, does financial statement interpretation and financial statement analysis the same? Because they share a common goal. Okay. So, to answer this question, balikan natin ng konti yung ating basic accounting. Sabi dun sa basic accounting natin, accounting is identifying, classifying, summarizing, and interpreting the results thereof. So when you identify your record, when you classify, you put it in the ledger. When you summarize, you put it in your financial statements. And in order to interpret your financial statements, the question is, how are you going to interpret your financial statements? Diyan papasok si FS analysis. So probably the reason why they share a common goal is that in order for you to interpret your financial statements, you conduct FS analysis. And the main purpose of FS analysis is for you to have an interpretation of your financial statements because based on your interpretation of financial statements, dun ka makakagawa ng iyong economic decisions. What are the economic decisions na pinag-uusapan natin dito? Whether you will invest or not, whether magpapautang ka or hindi, kung ikaw ay empleyado, may pasweldo pa ba sa'yo o wala, kung ikaw ay supplier, mababayaran ba yung mga sinusupply mo sa kanya, kung ikaw ay customer, makakakuha ka ba sa company na yan ng supplies na kailangan mo. So those are among the economic decisions na kailangan gawin ng mga parties, external and internal to the company, and only by analyzing the financial statements, dun sila makakagawa ng economic decisions na yon. Bakit kailangan pa na ng financial statement analysis? Because if we will look at the financial statements are purely figures. They are purely amounts. Okay? So, let us say, ang nakalagay sa, let us say you are an investor. And as investor, what's your main concern? Your main concern is magkaroon ng return. Return sa investments mo. Return on your investments. And the common return on your investments can be evidenced by dividends. At yung dividends na yan, mabibigyan ka ng dividends obviously kapag kumikita ang company. Ngayon, if you will look at the financial statement ng isang company and you see that the income, for example, is 1 million. The income of the company is 1 million. Another company, the income is 500,000. So, considering this information, saan ka mag-i-invest? Doon ba sa company nang may income na 1 million o doon sa company na may income na 500,000? If you will solely look at the financial statement as it is, you only look at the figures as it is, well, probably, you will be investing on the company that has an income of 100,000. But, what if it is 1 million, but its previous income is 5 million. And the previous income of this 500,000, let us say, is 50,000 pesos only. So, considering that, mag-iiba na possibly yung iyong decision. Kasi from 5 million to 1 million, this company, although earning a lot or a higher amount compared to 500,000, there is a decline from 5 million to 1 million. On the other hand, even if it is just earning 500,000, it is from a 50,000 income. So, base doon, this is a decrease, this is an increase. It might affect the decision of the investor. Okay? That's why there is a need for financial statement analysis. Because again, financial statements, since that is purely figures and amount, it might mislead the users of financial information. Okay? Question from Yula. Is trend analysis a combination of horizontal and vertical analysis? Not literally combination. Trend analysis is somehow a horizontal analysis considering a more than 2 periods. Question from Camille. Do investors use horizontal analysis? And if so, how do they use this method in order to make investment decisions? So I guess that is somehow explained in my previous answer. Investors are considered to be users of financial statements. Ang investors can be classified as existing and potential. Okay? So, kapag existing ka, owner ka na. Kapag potential investor ka, wala ka pang ownership, wala ka pang stocks, pero you can be an owner. No, so can you use horizontal analysis? For as long as the financial statement is available, you can use horizontal analysis. Okay, kasi wala ka namang i-compare kung obviously kapag hindi available ang financial statements. Kung existing stockholder ka, you might have an access on the financial statements. But if you are a potential investor, so not all times ay meron kang access. Unless publicly traded ang company or publicly traded ang stocks ng company. So, do they use the method? Horizontal analysis can be used. How do they use it? Or for what reason nila ginagamit yun in terms of making economic decisions? As I've mentioned kanina, normally kung investor ka, what you are concerned or your interest will be the profitability of the business. So, mas magandang tingnan yung profitability ratios. But can you make horizontal analysis? Pwede rin naman. Medyo risky lang din ng konti. Kasi ang nakikita mo lamang ay comparison ng 2 periods. I mean, like for example, kapag ang tinignan mo lamang ay income, ang ma-identify mo lang dyan, kung gagamit ka ng horizontal analysis, ang ma-identify mo lang dyan, tumaas ba o bumaba. But you cannot identify the relationship of income to assets, the relationship of income to capital, kasi hindi yan nakikita sa horizontal analysis. Hindi siya initially makikita sa horizontal analysis. That's why gumagamit tayo ng profitability ratio, so that we will know the relationship of income to assets, of income to equity. So if you are an investor, most probably you are interested in the profitability ratios of a business organization. Okay, so question from Ruth. What are the difference between horizontal analysis, vertical, and trend? I guess I already answered that. How important is the use of trend analysis and how it is used, and what is garden variety period? Well, sabi ko nga kanina, ang garden variety common 2-period horizontal analysis. How important trend analysis? It is, I cannot give you a measurement of how important it is. But the purpose being served by trend analysis is, ang trend analysis natin pang long run yan. Kasi hindi lang 2 period ang kino-consider mo. You are considering more than 2 periods. And sa trend analysis, from the term itself, nakikita mo yung trend. Is it an increasing trend? Okay? Kasi the difference between a trend analysis and horizontal analysis, although you are comparing more than 1 period, pag sinabi mong 2016, 2017, 100, naging 200 noong 2017. Kung horizontal analysis ang gagamitin mo, you might say it increases. It increases, but you cannot say it is increasing. You get my point? Even if it increases, we cannot assume and we cannot say that it has an increasing trend, because what you are comparing are just 2 periods. But if you have here, let us say 2018, and the 2018 is 300, you have here 2019 and the 2019 is 400, you can say that the trend is increasing. Okay? What if this is 150 and this is 180? Increase, decrease, increase. So what is the trend? The trend is fluctuating. Ang hirap mag-invest sa ganitong klase ng company na hindi mo alam kung pataas ba siya o papaba. Masyadong risky ang pag-i-invest sa kanya. Okay? So, how important? Again, di ko kayang ibigay how important it is, pero ito yung purpose na siniserve niya. It depends probably on the purpose or on the interest of the users of financial information. Question from Jonah. Which method is easy to use and effective to use? Sabi ko nga, for me, mas madaling gamitin ng vertical analysis, pero kung alin ang mas effective, depende sa gusto mong alamin. Depende sa gusto mong malaman. Arlene, what is the difference between horizontal analysis and vertical, and how it is used in financial statement analysis? I guess I already answered that. From Jinky, difference of the 3, what analysis is the best and best one to use? Again, it depends on your objective. Chihara, garden variety, already answered that. Chini, which of the 3 is more convenient and easy to use? Again, I'll go for the vertical analysis just to answer the question. Ellen, what is the difference? Already answered that. Angeline, what is useful between horizontal analysis and vertical analysis? Parehas pong magkagamit yan. Why horizontal analysis serves as the sound start for analyzing financial statements? Okay. Yung question na Realin, horizontal analysis serves as the sound start for analyzing financial statements. I guess nothing in the module says that horizontal analysis is the sound start for analyzing financial statements. What the module states is that yung sound start na tinutukoy, if you will read again the module, yung sound start na tinutukoy dito ay yung comparative FS. Kung saan, yung comparative FS, since comparative nga yung pinag-uusapan natin, merong pwedeng pagkumparahin. At yung comparative FS na yun yung ina-analyze natin horizontally. Kaya, let me just clarify that. Ang sound start na tinutukoy dito is yung comparative financial statements. At dahil comparative yan, kaya mong gumawa ng horizontal analysis because hindi lang single period ang pinag-uusapan. Question from Anvi. Is solvency one of the objectives of the FS or it is the same as asset utilization? Okay. Solvency is somehow related to leverage or the use of your asset and the use of your debt. When we say solvency, by definition, when we say solvency, am I or is the company capable of meeting its long-term obligation? Okay. Which is different from liquidity. Okay? Si liquidity, ang sinasabi ni liquidity, pag may utang ako ngayon, kaya ko ba yung bayaran? Ang sinasabi ni solvency, meron akong utang na kailangan kong bayaran in 5 years time. Sa tingin mo ba, merong enough na cash ang company by that time so that I can meet my long-term obligation? That's what we call solvency. Okay. If the question is it one of the objectives of the financial statements? Not directly. If we will recall in contrast, the objective of FS is to provide information about financial position, financial performance, and cash flows. Yan lang naman yung sinasabi na objective ng financial statements. However, I guess solvency is one of the objectives of identifying solvency is actually one of the objectives of FS analysis. And it needs to be clear that financial statement is different from financial statement analysis because FS is actually the output of financial accounting. FS analysis is the evaluation and interpretation of your financial statements. Question from Tracy. What is the difference of vertical and horizontal? Answered already. Jamil. Which is preferable to use? It depends on your need. James. In what extent does external variables such as socioeconomic and political variables affect financial statement analysis? What other variables may also affect at large this analysis? Okay, so I guess the context of the question lies on what are the other factors affecting your analysis of financial statement. Okay, meaning when you make or when you have FS analysis, what you simply analyze is the financial statements. Okay? But other factors could affect your analysis of your financial statements. What other factors are we talking about? There is an inflation. The industry. What is acceptable or ano ba yung benchmark or ano yung standard sa industry? Okay, bakit yung inflation isa sa kino-consider natin? We have to recall that financial statements may limitation siya. Kasi ang financial statement ay historical by nature. Okay? It is historical by nature. Ang financial statements, stable monetary unit ang ginagamit. Because that is what is presented or what is required in the standards. Okay? Kapag may inflation, hindi na papasok ang stable monetary. Sabi ng stable monetary, 1 peso is equal to 1 peso. Pero ang sinasabi ng inflation, yung piso ko na nakakabili ng 2 candy noon, yung pisong yan, same piso na yan, isang candy na lang nabibili ngayon. Because its value decreases. Pero hindi yun nagre-reflect sa financial statement. Ang sinasabi ng financial statement, kung piso yan, piso yan. Kasi hodang ang nabibili niyan ngayon ay 1 hektarya ng lupa o walang-wala ka nang mabibili sa pisong yan. It doesn't matter. Okay? Because 1 peso is 1 peso. Unless there is, yun nga, hyperinflationary economy kung saan ina-adjust na natin yung value ng ating mga financial assets. Okay? From Julian, horizontal, known as dynamic measure or trend ratio. Kaya siya tinawag na dynamic dahil pag sinabi mo dynamic, may mga changes yan. No? Since horizontal nga, comparative nga yung tinitingnan natin dyan. So, dynamic measure talaga yan. DASA, how important is in the use of analysis, vertical and trend analysis. Again, just like the kaninang question, I cannot say how important it is. Kasi, what I can say is that analyzing your financial statements is important in making economic decisions for the users of financial statements. But how important it is, I cannot answer that with conviction, kasi it depends on the need of the user. Okay, so I guess that's all of the questions. So if you have clarifications and concerns pa rin after this video presentation, you can submit that through our Google Classroom. Thank you.